Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We're back into projects for the Jeep and I can't wait to get started on these. So after going out to SEMA, I've kind of come to the realization that everything there is all new, modern, very expensive, and that's cool. I like that kind of stuff. But I still like my 98 Cherokee. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dive into trying to update the interior of this thing. As far as the exterior goes, I mean, there's not really a whole lot we can do to it. We've just about mounted every possible thing to it. But the inside of it is still kind of dated looking. So I did the best thing that you can always do. I jumped on Marketplace and eBay and I started lowballing everybody I could find. And eventually a couple people have bid into what I offered. We got some upgrades for it. The big upgrade that I want to do, I'm kind of in limbo on because the guy was kind of pissed at my offer. But he did say that he would get back to me in a couple weeks if he hasn't sold it. So fingers crossed all his deals fall through and I land me a big one. But for this video, a lot of people have said that my steering wheel looks like I chewed on it. And that's kind of gross. But we're going to muscle through. So we found this. This is a steering wheel. Now apparently, I have no idea if this is even going to work. Jeep Compass steering wheels are direct bolt-on the Cherokees. And I kind of know this will work because I did also find in that same group, there is a guy out there that is making little circuit boards that allow you to keep your cruise control. For all these factory buttons, they should continue to work. Now, on this Cherokee, I don't like using the cruise control, and I'm actually considering just removing all the guts to it and getting it the hell out of the engine compartment. And the reason for that is, it's still not geared correctly. And when I'm on trips anyway, like I don't like using the cruise control in it. I like driving. I like doing that kind of stuff. I don't care. I drove all the way to Colorado, 14 hours straight, no cruise control. Doesn't bother me. So on the Jeep, I'm okay with it. Now on like a turd like this or the wife's car or something like that, yeah, when we're driving, I'll set the cruise control because it's a newer car. But when you start getting into the hills, it starts throwing gears around and you wind up just drag racing up hills. And I don't like that about cruise control setups. So on this mod, we're not going to be putting that kit in to keep the cruise buttons. These, I believe, do come out. So at some point, I might try to figure something out on just putting like a blank in so that there's no buttons. Or maybe put switches for I don't know what. So for right now, they will be there, but they won't work. But if you're looking to do this, there is a board that a gentleman makes that allows that to keep working. I don't have a link for it. I just happened to like see it. I read about it. I saw it and I moved on. But I do know it is possible. Hey, what's up everybody? Before we get too far into this video, this is future me coming back to tell you that if this is a mod that you want to do to your Cherokee, you will have an airbag light on. It's just the nature of the beast. This is a new steering wheel going on an old vehicle, and the airbag clip, the little wire harness that goes into the airbag, is not the same. So, if this is something you're planning on doing, there is the option to keep your cruise control, but you will lose the airbag for sure. The way around that, haven't figured it out. So, just saying, before we get too far in, if this isn't something you want to do, because you will have to check with your local state, municipalities, and all that when you do your inspections on your vehicle. If you have an airbag light on, now I probably won't because I will just remove the light bulb. But I'm not saying you should do that. But if you're doing this mod, you will have an airbag light on. So let's go ahead and jump back in the video. Another thing going on with it is, it is fall outside, it is cooling off. I've noticed a lot uptick in diesel heaters. Showing up on YouTube feeds and Facebook groups. Now, yes, I did buy this one. This is the Vivor. That's about all I know. I got it off Amazon. It was cheaper than hell, and I know a lot of people said they really liked it. I'm not doing that video first because I want to try this thing out. I want to run it through any situation, all scenarios. I want to see how much power this thing pulls out of my Jackery, with the fridge running, with the charging GoPro camera batteries, running my laptop. So I'm not just going to be the guy that runs out, buys this thing, and then instantly says, oh my God, it's so great, you need to buy one. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to test this thing out before I let you guys know what my thoughts are on it and if this thing is even going to be worth it. So some of the reviews I found, they say it's good. we'll find out. I did also buy this. It's a little 1.5 gallon fuel can. I'm going to put the diesel fuel in there for that guy right there. The only problem I got with it, it came with this little mount. But the problem is where I was going to put it, the bars are too fat, so the mount doesn't work. So we're going to have to rethink where that's going to go. So anyway, back to the steering wheel. Really cool upgrade. This is what I'm talking about. Throw a little modern into the old Cherokee, and hopefully bring the interior up a little bit, because it's dated. So I've never pulled this thing apart. I did unhook the battery, because as funny as it would be to have an airbag blow up in my face for this video and probably get a good thumbnail, I don't want that happening. So battery's unhooked, and we're gonna dive in here. We're gonna get this thing swapped out, and we'll let you know how it works. So here is my old crusty dated steering wheel that is absolutely falling apart and has been put through some miles. It is worn down. On the back side here, you'll find on 2 places, these are the bolts. We take an 8mm. That will take the airbag off. Remember, unhook your battery before you do this, or this thing could blow up in your face. You just never know. I mean, it shouldn't, but I mean, it'd be funny if it did, but not for me. So now, I will say my steering wheel is crooked. That's not by design. I need to have an alignment done on this thing. So the trip to Colorado really kind of tweaked some things around. I had an alignment done before I went on that trip. And then, yeah, running the trails out there kind of knocked some things out, and that's okay. Oops. So I do know that my wheel is a little off. So when I pull this one off, when I put the new one on, we're going to kind of clock the new one straight on. Now, if I need to, I can adjust it from there. But I am going to have another alignment done, and I highly recommend you do the same if you're doing this, just so everything's back in action. Now you can see inside, we got wires for all sorts of stuff. So I know one of these is going to be, this one might be the horn. We got one here. These are going to be for all the cruise control buttons. And then this one here is your airbag. So we'll get these off. And I got to figure out what's going on with stuff. Alright, so there's your airbag. It just pulls right out of the back of there. So be careful with that. So airbag's out. This one here, you just push down that little tab right there. That comes apart. Same with this one up here. It's just a standard wire connection. Because I can tell you that the new wheel's different. Now, if the airbag doesn't work on the new wheel, we die like men. You know, just face plant straight into the wheel. Seatbelt's probably gonna just shred your guts. It's fine. You know, the passenger, you'll be all right. Me, no, deader than hell. But it is what it is. So we'll just get this nut off of here. And then I do have a puller set to help pull this off if it doesn't just pop right off. Another thing to be careful of, your clock spring. You don't want to break that. Alright, so the socket you're going to need is a 21 mil. Take this off. So now that everything's unhooked, we'll try the old method of just beating and pulling. I do have my puller set, so if that doesn't work, we'll try that. Alright, yep, puller set. Alright. So the new steering wheel's got a way different setup than this one. So there's going to be some modifications to the wiring. And by that I mean we're just going to start removing stuff. So but for right now I'm going to clean this up and we'll get the wheel out And yeah, we're all learning on this one together, folks. This is my first time doing this one, so I'll get right back to you once I get this cleaned up. All right, so we're on to something here. The biggest thing minus the cruise control is the horn. The horn setup is different on the Cherokee versus whatever this thing came off of. So on the Cherokee, you got a single wire. On this airbag, on the new steering wheel, it's a dual wire. So the power just gets routed differently is all it is. So what you have to do, and this took some trial and error by me, and I ran short on wire because I had to redo the connectors. On the back side of the airbag, you'll have two wires coming out that go to the old wire clip, right? So you guys basically stick a pin inside those two little holes and pull the wires out, and then cut the ends off, and then put on new connections. So your gray wire is going to go to the wire on your existing Cherokee, and the black wire comes off, and I just grounded it right over here. It has to be connected to this because this gets connected to here, which then grounds through the shaft, which completes the circuit. I would have liked to have put it on here, but these have little rubber isolators on them, and it's not connected to this. So you have to do the ground over here. I could have run it here, I could have run it farther. This wire was a lot longer, now it's a lot shorter. I did have to cut just a little bit of the tabs off of the side here, just to get better access to connect the ground wire. But now, when I connect this into here, I will have to cut this end off and change it to a smaller or a larger plug to fit this, but that's no big deal. But now when all this is connected, you will have an operating horn. It's super easy. Just don't do what I did and start cutting the wire too short because things weren't working correctly. So as far as that goes, that's going to work. Like I said, the airbag will not, because this one here is 2 connections and the old Cherokee is 1. So that's just going to have to, you know, it's going to have to be how it is. We're just kind of trial and error in this thing. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get the wiring finished up. We'll get the new wheel on. So let's keep going. Okay, so we're really diving deep now. We took apart the steering wheel just so that I could just completely remove the wire harness. I will hang on to it just in case for some reason I decide I do want to put the cruise back in it, but I don't think I'm ever going to. It's really simple. 2 bolts, and on the back side, on the bottom, 2 screws. And then you just kind of pop everything apart. So here's the harness right there. Just unhooked it, no big deal. These do come off. So you can see it's just little Torx bits there. Maybe one day I'll take these things out and like make little fake cap plates for them or something. I don't know. But for right now, they're just gonna be for looks. So, okay, so what we got going. The old airbag cord is up top because it doesn't fit through here. So I just looped it around the side and then up through here because there's enough space up here for it to sit. All right, so after tearing this thing apart, was sticking out the back a little far, and there's like a tab back there, so when I was turning the wheel I would hear it clicking across it. So I've pulled it in and tucked it way down, and then once the airbag goes in, that should kind of like sandwich it back there, and it should be all right. I contemplated cutting this off like here or somewhere, but I really don't want to do that just in case something goes wrong and I got to put the old wheel back on. You know, it's who knows? I mean, you start cutting stuff off, that's when you really get screwed. So other than that, this is tight. Airbag's going back on, bolts will go in, and we should have a real nice upgrade. So yeah, okay, hang tight. All right, so blinker on, airbag lights on, of course. We are going to remove the fuse on that, so that'll go away. But all right, that just turned off. All right, well, now that we're all done, the old wheel is out. I am going to hang on to the old airbag because those things are worth a lot of money, apparently. Speaking of airbags, so as you saw, everything's in. The airbag is disconnected, so I do have an airbag light on. I'm going to try to see. I did pull the fuses out to shut the airbag module off, but the light is still on, so I'll probably just do the simple fix of just taking the light bulb out. I don't recommend doing that, but that's just something I'm going to do. I've always kind of wondered when you take these things off road, like if you do like just slam the front end into something, I don't want the airbags blowing up on me anyway. And I figure if I'm in an accident, well, you know, happens. Just fingers crossed that everything turns out okay, I guess. I don't know. But other than that, man, this thing, it's the beginning of a process of projects that I want to do to just make the interior on this thing kind of more livened up. Make it look a little fresh, make it look a little kind of with the times, you know? I am a sucker for new interiors on new vehicles, so to bring the old up to life with the new is pretty cool to me. So, simple thing was the steering wheel. Like I said, I don't have cruise control and I no longer have an airbag. I can't find the link for the company or the guy that was making those little circuit boards, so if you can find it and you want cruise control back on your rig, then I highly recommend doing that. But I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It's the beginning of the projects. As for projects, you know, we are going to test out this diesel heater. I'm going to run it through the gauntlet and I'll make a video on that. I know that everywhere you look right now on YouTube is nothing but diesel heaters, so I will be behind in the times, but I want to make sure that you guys get the correct information out of this unit. Now, I can't compare it to anything else because this is the only one I got, but I will give you all the details on this unit, so stay tuned for that one. But, I mean, take a look around. I got a mess to clean up of just other stuff going on in here. And I think I'm going to wrap it up there. So, as far as this project goes, it's pretty easy. The wiring on it, just be careful. Don't do what I did and cut the wire a little too short because then you start freaking out. But it's really simple. Easy swap over. Like I said, the only hang up is the airbag and the cruise control. So, if you want to put a little new life in your old XJ, that's the way to do it. I have seen guys put older steering wheels from like the early 90s and the 80s series XJs into the new ones. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan. I like the new stuff. So tell me what you think. Drop a comment down below. Do you like the old steering wheels, the new steering wheels, or does it really even matter to you? So we're going to wrap it up. I got a lot to do. We're going to hang some Christmas lights, clean up the yard, clean up the garage, a whole bunch of crap on a weekend. So that's going to do it. You guys, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.